Over the past 12 months, I made some of the biggest health breakthroughs of my life at 46 years old. My blood work is immaculate. My biological age is 10 years younger. I'm lifting heavier than I did in my 20s. I'm sprinting again, and I even improved my vision. More about this later. And I did it all without injecting myself with TRT, peptides, or GLP-1s. So in this video, I want to share with you my 10 most powerful health lessons I learned in 2025 that completely changed my life. And by the way, my name is Dango. I used to be a fat boy. I got sick of how my body looked and obsessed about getting lean and reaching my full potential. I owned a gym for over a decade. I sold that in 2018, and since then, I've been helping high-achieving entrepreneurs and business owners transform their bodies with ease and minimal stress. Lesson number 1, all you need is 2 sets per exercise. I used to think more volume equals better gains. But in 2025, I did something different, and that was something I call the 2S method, which is 2 sets per exercise, 3 full body workouts a week, and 3 minutes of rest. And I take each and every one of these exercises at least 1 rep shy of failure. That's it. And the results were incredible because the concept about 2 sets and something we're learning about building muscle is that they grow when they're pushed close to their limits with heavy or challenging weights. Over time, you keep making the workout a little harder by doing more weight or adding more reps. And this is what forces the muscles to adapt and get bigger. Also, when you only get 2 sets, it serves as this forcing function to lift the weight with as much intensity as possible. This enables you to go full out and doesn't have you saving your energy for the final set. And the best part about this workout is it has me in the gym for about 30 to 40 minutes per session, and then I'm out. And it is more about quality than it is about quantity. And I'll be talking about the 2S method in a future video, so if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Lesson number 2 was quite shocking. Red light therapy helped me heal my vision and also kill my cravings. So for the past couple of years, I started to recognize that when it came to nighttime, my vision, especially for reading, started to get a little blurry. It came to a point when I was out to dinner with my family and my mother-in-law was there, and as a joke, I actually took her reading glasses and put them on me, and I was surprised to see that I could actually see the fine print of the menu a lot clearer. And this scared the shit out of me. I thought I would have to get reading glasses, but before I did that, I remember watching a Joe Rogan episode about how he used red light to improve his eyesight.
Yeah, I have a red light bed that I lie in. It's just staring at red lights, just chilling. Usually I just listen to books.
So I did a little bit of research and found that red light may be an effective tool to help tired eyes work better. It seemed to recharge the mitochondria in the eye cells, making them more energetic so vision, especially color seeing, can improve a little. So I decided, what the heck, I don't want to wear reading glasses, so why not give this a shot? So in the mornings, I would sit in front of my red light therapy device with my eyes closed for 15 minutes a day for 3 weeks straight. And quite honestly, I didn't really think anything would happen until one night, we put the kids to bed, I got out my Kindle to read a book, and I was shocked. I could actually read the tiny little letters without squinting my eyes or like putting it like right in front of me like this. It was almost clear as day. Now, another tiny side effect that I have experienced by doing red light therapy in the morning is a slight blunting of my appetite and hunger. And this is consistent with some of the evidence that's coming out showing that red light therapy can get us more aligned and actually have an effect on leptin and ghrelin. So it's still early, but I'm optimistic by the results. So I'm going to be doing an entire video on what I've learned through a couple of months with red light therapy, and that's going to come out later in 2026. Lesson number 3 was divorcing myself from wearing a smartwatch. So I was on my trip to Vietnam and I was out in the water surfing, and all of a sudden my Apple Watch crapped out on me. And I didn't bring any other wearables. I only had my Bremont watch that you see right here and also a Casio watch that I've had since 2019. So I decided to take that as an opportunity to go without wearables until I got back home. And at first it kind of felt strange because I was always used to waking up and checking something to see where my heart rate was at and checking to see how many steps I did at the end of the day. And then after a while, it felt like freedom. You have to understand, since 2018, I've worn every single wearable that you can think of. The Oura Ring, the Whoop, the Garmin, the Apple Watch, and they were all useful. Don't get me wrong, they taught me my patterns, but there is a point when the data becomes a crutch. And living without a wearable forced me to listen to my body again. I got back in touch with how I actually felt when I needed rest and when I needed energy. It also made me realize that wearables can actually disable you from the one true measure of fitness, which is how you feel. Now, there's also something to be said about not wearing something that is constantly giving you notifications, constantly telling you how you should feel based on a bunch of numbers, and also emitting Bluetooth and Wi Fi directly onto your skin. With that being said, I'm not anti wearable. I'm just taking a step back, and I believe data is important, but once you have the data, quantifying your health every single day kind of becomes a crutch. Lesson number 4 is what I call the U 2.0 roadmap. To me, health is the ultimate game, and the biggest mistake I see people make is only focusing on one level. Most people just get stuck trying to lose fat, or even worse, they try to tackle everything at once and end up burning themselves out. Health doesn't work like that. There are levels to this shit, and this is why I built the U 2.0 roadmap. So level 1 is what I call the metabolic foundation. This is where everything starts. Healthy body fat levels, clean blood markers, stable blood sugar. Without this, every other upgrade is unstable and eventually collapses. Level number 2 is where you add lean mass. It's the armor stage. This is where you build muscle as protection. By adding muscle, you're improving strength, insulin sensitivity, metabolism, joint health, and long-term quality of life. As a result of getting stronger, you're moving better, and as a bonus, you're looking great naked. Level 3 is the mitochondrial engine, and this is where the energy changes. This is where you would start working on VO2 max, cardiovascular fitness, lung capacity, heart health, and oxygen delivery. This is where you're going to feel more energized. Your brain is going to get more oxygen, and your longevity is going to improve dramatically. Level 4 is what I call waste removal, and it's also optimizing for recovery. And we're talking about your sleep, your hormones, your circadian rhythms, stress, light, and environment. This is where your body stops fighting itself and starts running efficiently. And level 5 is what I consider high performance mastery. This is the integration. This is where the body, mind, and spirit work together, so peak health becomes automatic and a part of who you are. What I've learned is this: progress happens fastest when you specialize on each level before moving up, and then integrate them into the final lesson I'm going to be talking about in this video. Lesson number 5 is a quick one, but important. You rise to the level of your goals, but fall to the level of your systems. A goal without a system is just a dream. Something you have to realize is that your body thrives off of routine. When you train at the same time, you signal performance. When you sleep and wake consistently, you signal recovery. When you eat in a rhythm, hunger regulates itself. The body itself is a system, and once you understand that system, health stops becoming a grind and starts becoming automatic. So in 2025, I doubled down on building systems instead of chasing motivation, because motivation fades but systems compound. Lesson 6 was using AI as a co-pilot for my health. So AI is one of the most advanced technologies we've had since the internet. And while AI didn't necessarily make me healthier, using it to challenge my thinking did. I've been using AI as a sparring partner, and it's been great for testing assumptions and spotting blind spots. But it's not all good. Something I hate is the fact that it hallucinates often. And one of the most frustrating parts is that it gets things confidently wrong. And one of the worst things that people can do is actually outsource their entire thinking to AI itself. I found that the real power comes when AI is paired with data, metrics, self-awareness, and human coaching. And I've been so inspired to the point where I'm building my own personal AI health coach, one that is trained on my methodology and individual data and 20 plus years of health coaching experience. No hallucinations, real feedback loops. It's going to help track calories, macros, create recipes, give sound advice, and make food decisions easier and automatic. Basically, like having me in your pocket telling you what to eat. So I'm going to test it out on myself first, and then my clients. I will keep you updated on the progress. Lesson number 7 was psychedelics and longevity. Now, this is a sensitive topic for a lot of people, but it needs to be talked about. And I haven't mentioned this before, but through the guidance of trusted professionals, psychedelics has helped me elevate my thinking, release old emotional baggage, and move forward in life. And now we're starting to see early research suggesting that it may support longevity indirectly by reducing stress, depression, and chronic inflammation. And of all people, Brian Johnson has started to see the benefits from psychedelics in his brain by temporarily becoming more youthful and flexible. And this suggests that psychedelics may enhance longevity by restoring neuroplasticity, curiosity, and emotional well-being. Now, with that being said, these are powerful compounds with real risks. I don't recommend them casually. This is something to approach carefully with legitimate guidance and also education. So I'm following the research closely. The potential is real, but so are the dangers. Lesson number 8 is that air fryers make healthy eating so much easier. Air fryers were like a revelation to me in 2025, not even joking. I was cooking steaks, chicken, veggies,
beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes,
toasting sourdough, even chicken nuggets for the kids. Healthy food became fast, delicious, and kind of fun. Now, the key with the air fryer, I'm going to tell you this right now, is the fact that you want to avoid the Teflon coatings. You want to get a non-toxic model where healthy eating becomes frictionless and also healthy. And I talked about in this video right over here. So when it comes to eating, consistency beats perfection. And if you have a tool that makes healthy eating delicious, then having an air fryer is kind of a no-brainer. Lesson number 9 was fixing my light exposure. So light may be the most underrated health lever that you can pull in 2026 and beyond. So this year, I got serious about sunlight, red light, and indoor lighting. I get sun whenever it's possible. I use incandescent light bulbs at home instead of harsh LEDs. And when it comes to nighttime, we start dimming the lights to prepare ourselves for sleep. I went even as far as to get these like little black stickers to put on all these little sources of light that are in my room, just so we can have a completely blacked out room. And this is how serious light exposure is. Most people don't understand the impact of staying indoors and being under harsh artificial lights. Studies are actually showing us that it impacts everything from how we sleep to our mood to even our insulin sensitivity. And one of my core health principles is to fix the things you experience every single day. That's water, that's food, and that's light. When you get those things right, being healthy becomes automatic. And also, if you want to learn more about this, I think one of the most important interviews on light exposure we have is this one done by Andrew Huberman and Dr. Glen Jeffery. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description below. And the final lesson is the most important lesson of all, and it's what I call identity-based transformation. So in 2025, I got away from the logistics of transformation. And yes, I still tracked my calories, my macros, and my workouts, but the thing I emphasized most was my identity. I was acting from the person I was becoming. And chances are you already know how to eat, how to work out, and how to do all that stuff. It's not the information that holds you back, it's your self-image. So my number one question before doing any type of health action was, what would Dango 2.0 do? Because the way most people approach changing their bodies is, if I do this thing enough times, then I get to become that person. And that's nice, but it doesn't work. So how I approach transformation and how we approach it in our High Performance Academy is we work on identity first, and then we use actions as evidence that we are becoming that person. Look, calories, macros, workouts, and sleep, all that stuff, they all matter, okay? But none of it matters if you don't have the right identity set in place. So instead of setting a new goal for your health, ask yourself, who do I have to become to make this goal irrelevant as a result of who I am? With the right identity, your health goals become automatic. Without it, you just keep on spinning your wheels forever. So 2025 reminded me that health is not about doing more. It's about doing the right things at the right times and becoming the kind of person those behaviors belong to. Each year is an opportunity for a new upgrade, and I can't wait to see what another year of lessons bring. So which one hit the hardest for you? Leave a comment down below. I would love to hear it. And thanks for watching. See you on the next video.